This is Michi Hoyer, this is ACR Zakspeed, and this is another test drive in the McLaren MP4-30 around Circuit of the Americas. So we've already had two of these episodes. Me testing the car, which is new for me. Testing it on a track I personally like very much. So yeah, here we go. To quickly show you the setup of today's race, MP4-30 Circuit of the America. Obviously it's not a race. Time of the day, afternoon. Adjust the weather. We use iRacing defaults and simply load the track. With that being said, we just simply wait until the lobby has been finished loading. Hey John Montgomery, nice to see you here. Thanks you for joining. Yeah, Mr. Clean, I did give it a watch. Actually, looking at it, as they say, like, there's Michi Hoyer in the team who keeps saying he's as one of the biggest sim racer and fastest sim racer in the world. Actually, it sounded like a bit of accusing that should not be the case, or that it is not the case. But yeah, it's good to hear the name. Good to see ACR Zakspeed there. Was a pleasure for us to run in the top split there, and definitely it's nice to see that the name is actually being called out despite not me being in the race. So yeah, it's a fun thing to see, really. And thank you for linking it to me. We'll definitely have a closer look at the race at all, because actually I was gone the entire weekend. So as I said, we're gonna have more of that racing here. And you know, I've driven the car not for long yet, so I want to increase the front flap by 1 click. I remember the car being a bit too understeery here. I want to go softer on the front and torsion bar, which should give us a little bit more performance at the very front. Fuel level is put up to 100 kilograms again, because I was testing a lot on high fuel. Right, kidding here. Wait, I need to raise that right height thing. The purge offset, here we go. That's what I was looking for. Looking at the drivetrain, MGUK deploy mode manual, that is good. Regen 9, deploy trim 7 is, I think, what is right in the middle. 7 is energy balance. I want to use 6. Deploy throttle. Wait, that's the throttle position above which the MGUK will begin to deploy. I want to have that as soon as I really pull out full throttle there. Linear torque mapping, yeah, I want to have that. Put it to 7 here. Alright, apply. Done. Options, need to see whether I have to set control. MGUK deploy increasement. Toggle. Alright, I can't deploy it manually anyway, so yeah, we keep that. And we further test this car. And we remember that I did, I think 142s in the last time. Oh, I need to get used to the car again after this project cards run and all the Porsche runs I had, like back then in a couple of days. Yeah, Mr. Clean, I hope so too. I mean, if some guys are curious about what there was said about this on the stream, they are allowed to join me here on the... Yeah. I remember someone saying never ever spear the rear end of this car. I mean, people can come here and prove themselves whether they find me eligible of being one of the best sim racers in the world or not. I know some of them do it silently, have a look, and then maybe have their own conclusion, which is totally alright. I mean, can't be everybody's darling, nor can't be everybody's champion. Glory trim, keep that in 6. Whoa. I do not know. They updated the car, haven't they? So this car now feels entirely different, I assume. Yeah. So after the update, the car definitely feels completely different. It has new sounds apparently, I think. I need a lot more brake bias on the front. Probably want to have an earlier deploy and less aggressive power deploy. Hey Steam King, thanks for joining. Yeah, but for some reason also the brake bias seemed to be a bit weird. So definitely the car feels entirely different right now. It feels way more aggressive in the rear end. And this should not have nothing to do with the ERS system really. So let's see if this braking issue is fixed. Appears to be. Is it really the front wing that makes this car so unbelievably unstable? Hey Minong. Interesting stuff. Right, I will go back with aero front and maybe also raise the torsion bar again to somewhat get back at the kind of setup we had when racing it last time around and see if that changed anything. Because to me the car feels different in physics as well, so not only in ERS mode and stuff. Car is bouncing a lot, so dampers need to be fixed. Hey Yannis. Yeah, Minonk, you're absolutely right. German accent, German driver here. Alright, this front wing change and the torsion bar thing completely changed the bias of the set. I still don't know how people drive this. I'm still saying it's not, it's still too stable. So they've updated also circuit of the Americas cut limits, or off-track limits. That's what I can see as well. A much more stable at brake release. Disagree. The car is a lot more unstable with brake release, I would say. Oh, Steam King, very lovely. Thank you so much for support. No worries, Minong. You can talk in German to me, but I will always reply in English, especially when it is relevant for content. Right, let's try to focus and get a good lap in, or at least a valid lap first. Right, I can be a lot more aggressive with power supply. Don't go off track again. So we're coming around, final turn to do 1 minute 45, so I'm 2.5 seconds off with the very same set of my personal best in high fuel. No, honestly, how are you supposed to drive a car like that? That is bouncy and rear happy like that. As it is so bouncy and rear happy, I would even increase the front end suspension or even stiffen it. ARB is possibly as soft as it can be, so maybe it's too soft. Trying something out there as well. Front flap setting 10. So we want to push the car balance a lot more towards the rear end. I mean, actually in low speed corners it feels fine, but in high speed corners it's ridiculous. Like unstable as much as it can be. Right, let me get a field test in here right now, because that felt even more weird. So go on the chassis, we further stiffen on the ARB, make it 60, make it really hard, give it another test and see how that goes. Good wind, to be totally honest. If you're just out for some fun and good looking graphics, then yes. If you are out for good competition, real racing, and well, I do not know how to actually say it. I don't want to even call it realism, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Then probably not. Yeah, I think becoming a sponsor is when you watch my gaming site. At the top of the chat there should be get a sponsor on gaming. Actually that feels a bit better now. The rear end is not too twitchy anymore in the high speed sections. But it's lacking a lot of performance in the front now, obviously, so I stop it and see whether it was the rear end that, on the anti-roll bar that fixed it. Get down again with the 11 rear wing, front wing. Jamie Dowling, I heard that and well, but basically Automobilista is nothing else rather than a graphically updated rFactor 1. And we all know that rFactor 1 had some pretty good Formula 1 cars in it. Oh lovely, that car works a lot better. Thank you, Runzo, for helping here, explanationary. The total brake bar is a bit furthermore at the front, the regen still being too hard on the rear axis. Just not allowed to lock up the fronts. Oh no, Glubshy, is it? Thanks for noticing. Oh no, Mr. Clean, where are you actually living? Well, if you can't sponsor me directly via YouTube, you can do it indirectly with some links from the description, if you really want to. That is obviously highly appreciated. Danjo, I'm not too sure yet. I mean, it's a big challenge. I used to enjoy the laps I did before the update, but right now I'm like 2.5 seconds off, and I cannot get near that lap time for some reason. Martin, stop trolling there. Alright, so I've further stiffened the suspension because I think there's too much roll in the car. Obviously that means I need to be a lot more careful in acceleration and traction. But around those corners here it should give me a well benefit, as you can see it on the time deltas as well. Problem is with full throttle and the full engine mode being deployed, there comes a lot of power all over the sudden. Right, at least the brake bias seems to be set right now. I didn't think that being over the car for 2 weeks makes me struggle so hard when coming back to it. Yeah, that was stupid approach into that section anyway. I'm over accelerated on the Iterative. Hey Mattia, wheel configuration is 380 degrees on rotationary and 380 degrees on lock. So in both in-game and the Logitech profiler is 380. Stupid. Turning too much on the wheel. Yeah, too aggressive. Rip. Okay. So increase the right height a little bit. Increase the camber a little bit. Get the front end a bit more down. Yes, Martin, I had 380 degree as well in Assetto Corsa there. Hey Carl, yep, there is no Nordschleife, there's something different. So obviously raising the rear end could mean a lot less grip in the rear end. However, it also could mean a lot more grip in the rear end because of a more efficient diffuser, but we never know. Carl, to be totally honest, if I master this car at some point and become somewhat capable of it, I might go for it, but I'm now not necessarily planning on it, because realistically I need to just learn iRacing in general a lot still, and this car is a beast to drive, incredibly difficult for me, and I'm lacking a lot of performance, as you can see. This Formula 1 car feels so wrong to me. Or probably it's just me that's being wrong, not the car. Just going to be the first valid lap time would be great. Too fast into 17. Good exit though. Don't go wide here, that looks okay. Round final turn. In case the first valid lap time 1:43.5. So for some reason I'm missing a second. Alright, I see I am a bit too hard on the power side. So mode 5 should be about right. Took the wrong braking mark. Well, car, I'm now sitting the 4th time into this car, and the first time after they updated it. And I don't know whether it's the weather, but I'm currently not even reaching my lap time from the very first run. I kinda highly doubt they simply updated the ARS system, or they really updated it in a way that the car is particularly slower right now. It feels a lot more twitchy though. So I've changed a lot on the setup and having a total different rear at the minute. What happens if we go diff as possible there? Okay, your B rate. Rate is the stiffness of the center spring. Right, let's see how that feels. I've now stiffened the ARB even more. I'm not sure, you know, it feels like suddenly simply going off as soon as the load overcomes a certain amount. Which would be the case that the ARB is then not really able to handle the car's sideways roll anymore. No, that's even worse. Robin, what do you mean to be really off? Too much in the front? So we lower the ARB to 50 again. No, Robin, I'm just trying to understand the car. I mean, obviously, stiffest rear anti-roll bar was not a good idea, but I mean, actually, you have to know what happens and really prove that you are right. Now I got the ARB setting mid-soft, so in 50. I don't know whether I should say that feels even worse. So, heave rate 0, rear anti-roll rate 0, no anti-roll bar now. Let's see what happens this time. Probably now the car rolls even in turn 2. All over the sudden that seems working. The question is it too soft now, causing too much understeer? I mean, once you're in the spin, you're out anyway. Yeah, there you go. So this session, as you see it right now, is a lot of get some knowledge into the brain. So we want to have some heave rate, we want to have some anti-roll bar, to not being completely rear-ended. So Robin, you would put the heave rate very stiff then? Could explain why I spun out on that curb, because that stalled the diffuser, which is pretty strong on that car. You know, hashtag iRacing, this damage model is totally broken. Like, no way a car would look like that in real life. Right, so seriously, going on, heave rate a bit stiffer so we keep the very same aero in the rear end. Dumpers. Rear heave. I want to get the dumping a little more stiff there. Just a general thing. Same here. To not have the chance of oscillating dumpers, which them are doing quite there. Right. Yeah, Robin, you're absolutely right. That in the modern F1 car you want to run a soft rear end, because it's the rear end that needs to follow the front end, and therefore you want to have that a bit softer, definitely. Of course, generic, the result would be the same, but you know, iRacing calls itself the only one real simulator. With the current set, I feel like actually going somewhere. And Robin says something considerably interesting I totally forgot about doing. The suspension itself has also been stiffened, or yeah, been constructed by the dumpers. And they are considerably soft at both ends right now, and should be probably a bit stiffer in the front end, a bit softer in the rear end. So I haven't thought on that eventually. Oh, for crying out loud. Lost all the gap there. This car is bouncing quite heavily there. So 143.6. Now, as soon as you lift, the car becomes incredibly unstable. Drivetrain. Where is the middle entry preload? Entry preload sets an offset amount of static differential lock force. Higher settings have more locking force. How stiff you want to run that? In order to not get this damn off-throttle oversteer. Diff in car entry. Oh, higher settings have more locking force. So maybe that's the reason there. Could make this car completely understeery right now. So softening them Okay, that is minimum then. Softening the rear dampers. Waste below. Wait, 6 and 6 and yeah, I want to have that like this maybe. What you mean there are only 10 F1 streams this year? That is done. Something else I wanted to check? No. Simply go out. I think I have a lower high speed comp damping than you mean rebound in the second phrase? Okay, I will change that the next time. Robin, thanks for noticing. Oh, feels a lot better this time. Yeah, despite it obviously having a bit more understeer into the entry phase now. Yeah, this understeer now is heavy there, but I actually might need it. I wouldn't actually say my issue is fixed, but it feels a lot less worse, that's for sure. Coming around final corner to set in 142.9. I would actually have to see whether I did a 42.5 or 9 back then. Track temperature 39 degrees, that is the same. So now I need to reread a bit what Robin suggested to me. Yeah, YP Racing, I am on a single screen 27 inch monitor right here. So the low speed controls the chassis movement with a high speed irregulating the bumps. So the have a lower high speed compression dumping than a low speed compression dumping. That's what you say. So swap this around. Alright. Apply. Want to have it like that. Not sure I want to change anything. More forward, more understeer. Hey Stuart. Yeah, there is a lot more oversteer now in the car. Just hope that it stays alright through that cornery section right here. And then I think we slowly get into improving the times. Let's see if I can pull in a series of laps though. Hey Stuart. Yeah, thank you. Well, hot going is relative. Actually, I got loads, or a handful of energy to put in to keep the car going. Don't lock it up. Come on now, Michi. Not enough exit speed. Not enough turning, invalid lap there. Yeah, it's still got a little bit too much slide going on. Maybe can stabilize that even more with braking. Oh, thank you very much for your feedback there, Stuart. Oh, you're welcome, Stuart. Try to give some general knowledge, like not giving away the big tricks, but simply trying to give suggestions and help. Will the rear tires ever cool down after that spin slide? Have to drive this car so genuinely and careful. much inside, invalid lap. Meh. Steam King, that's the milestone for the Twitch followers, because I'm streaming on YouTube and Twitch at the very same time. Oh, that's good to know, Stuart, and feel free to keep on doing so. Is it the front tires going off? Good mind, I'm not a P-Cars 2 fanboy, not at all, don't get me wrong. And I hope no Project Cars fanboy is offended by that, but Project Cars is one of the games that really put the fingers down, like Jan Seifert did. It seems to be that the tires are going off after just 2 or 3 laps with my driving. Nope. Danjo, yeah, that's a good suggestion. Mr. Clean, which car? The car I'm currently sitting in, 2 official races with it. Oh, let's see if I can schedule that at some point. I think streaming Project Cars 2 has only one benefit. People watching it because more people got it. To be totally honest, I've noticed something. As soon as the tire temperatures comes up, this wiggling of the rear end completely vanishes. So that means, and I hope I'm not mistaken by that right now, can be a bit more aggressive on that thing again. And also, what else was it? What I wanted to change? No, we keep it like this. Yeah, Doc Holiday, it is. And this is why I should put like the exit setting a bit more aggressive. 9, Carl. I would put it as 9. Close to a 10. Not sure what I actually disagree with, but I mean, there's every track where you could do something better. But this track literally got everything. This is ridiculous. Oh, you need to warm up the tires in order to get the perfect balance in here. By the way, Doc Holiday, what you are actually saying about me understeering the car on the front tires a lot is actually right. Has a lot to do with me not really slowing down the car enough. So probably need to make it go slower, set it up for the apex, and then I can easily accelerate it out with speed without actually understeering over the front axis too much. So being a bit more patient with power and probably not locking up the car. Hey Leobron Lex Central, I hope I spelled that right. I hope you're fine if I only call you Lebro. Too much on the inside. Yeah, now the car's turning particularly good off throttle again. Not doing that really good at the minute. Whoa. I do not like the fact that this speed sensitivity on the wheel is there. Like, if I turn the wheel fully and stop the car, the in-game wheels turned more, which is ridiculous a bit. There's some kind of speed sensitivity, which I did not put there. Yeah, stupid Michi. Don't press it full. Right. Sorry, that was wrong. There we go. 900, 900. Rip force feedback, by the way. Like I have in that area there, force feedback is completely dead. Thank you for that hint, guys. I mean, I'm simply trying this out now. Hey, Macri. Right, on the wheel range right now I do not feel a difference despite the force feedback being completely dead in the first 30 degrees on either side. Other than that I do not feel any difference at all. I'm giving it one final try. I mean, it's pretty obvious that the set has been increased by some, or the performance has been upgraded a quite bit, but I'm not feeling well on the wheel right now with 900 degrees. Like, as I said, it's this total area that feels completely dead. Despite the fact Logitech force feedback is probably not the best in the world. Mr. Clean, the skins are being done by Marcelo Mandashi, a Brazilian race driver from ACR Zakspeed. The work they do is pretty awesome, paint-wise. Alright, Twiggy, I'm gonna look at that. Minimum force. Pash, by the way, if you're still watching, what kind of wheel you got at the minute? Just curious, is it Thrustmaster? Fuck me. Right, final try to actually do something before I simply stop it here. Thanks for noting that to me, Twiggy. I hope I can make use of it finally. You know, I feel like just being too stupid to run that car. Doc Holiday, I hope you're alright. Right now I have like 4 or 5 hours on the car. and I feel like going nowhere. I would still call my set being unstable, and then the IWCS guys come on and say your set is pretty much too settled in the back. Yeah. Yeah. Right, final try coming up in a minute. Hope that the tire pressures have settled a bit. Oh, come on. Why did I go wide here? No. Alright. That's it for today, guys. Right now, overdriving the car. I'm not feeling very good. Hey Michael, you joined quite late today. I've actually done your competition, the challenge you gave me, to race this unmistakably unstable Porsche 917K around a Nordschleife. So you can find that in the video feed, I think. Yeah, other than that, I still need to learn so much about this car right here. Yeah, I'm not feeling very well at all on it. As you can see, struggling a lot, having a lot to learn. I've been told that Circuit of the America is probably not the best way to start it. Sorry, I misclicked the button there. But yeah, I mean, you have to start somewhere, and I do like the track. I generally do like the car. Like, I mean, it's been an F1 car, isn't it? So, I might race that car in the season a bit. Like only a fair bit though, because I got different stuff going on throughout the season still. So yeah, that's why probably racing on iRacing in general, or racing this car in general, will be on the minimum. We'll have to see, time will tell. Michael, if I had fun with that competition, I was in fumes. It took me an hour to do it, and took me quite some effort on that Porsche thing. I mean, the car was not actually that difficult to drive power-wise. It's just once you break that 100-meter board and you overshot the corner like mad, and the next time you broke at the 100-meter board the very same way, you get some sort of drift slide pretty fast around the corner. So this Porsche 917K was quite inconsistent. Antoine, thank you so much for proving what I just said. How come it isn't, though? That would be interesting to know. Is it because of a generally track layout, or why is that? Because I do love the track, or I like the track in general. Yeah, Mr. Clean, I actually am quite a bit tired because I had a test in a Formula 3 sim that weekend. And in order to have that, I traveled 600 kilometers one way. So I went there Friday afternoon and came back yesterday night. Alright, Antoine, maybe you're right and I'm just setting myself a too bit high of a target. But yeah, right now I'm feeling fine. I mean, there is progress anyway. I need to learn a lot, and some guys get serious amount of hours on that car. As you said, racing it. Yeah, Michael Clark, I can hear you. I can totally hear you, and I can obviously hear all the guys hating it. But yeah, I would like to thank you so much for being here tonight. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've learned something. Hope you actually enjoyed watching me fail quite a lot again in that car. And yeah, I hope to see you guys back on the next stream. Keep watching the feed, and then you will see what's up next there. Probably in the future. I'm not going to stream too many events because right now I need to start focusing on the real season coming up. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all the new sponsors. Thank you Steam King for subscribing and sponsoring the channel. If you like what you see, make sure you hit the like button, share and subscribe, tell your friends, and then I hope I see some of you guys back the next week. Have a nice Sunday evening, good start into the week, and see you racing there.